Something
maybe
like
an Ags.
that.
I can't remember. But
FNG played the super sacrificial 5.
And it worked so well for almost all the game, but at some point, like, his hero just felt useless. It was like, oh, you're going to consistently channel your ultimate for approximately half a second, and then you'll be silenced or stunned, and that's it. But if you had a BKB, maybe if you had an Ags, maybe if you had a Blink, I feel like he could have gotten a lot more value out of his hero, but I'm not 100% on that. Just at some point, the sacrifice is too much, and you shouldn't be playing the hard 5 unless you're a Dazzle.
And again, the final ban on Tidehunter from Virtus.Pro. I guess this is a pocket strat that it's either something that Virtus.Pro really hates or that Empire has been doing in scrims. He does not come up on a high pick for Empire.
But he's good against a lot of VP's heroes. Like, they're very stun susceptible because they're low HP and they require casting spells to be survivable. Lina, Crystal Maiden, and Winter Wyvern. Just imagine like Tide blinking into what VP has. Like, yeah, sure, Tusk can maybe snowball them, but if CM Lina gets stunned by a Ravage and then Quap follows up, like, those heroes just die.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a little too scary to deal with. And
it would be that final piece of their team fight that would really make this a scary squad once they start roaming about the lanes. Empire will need their off-laner here, though. What does Yoku want to play this game? I mean, Centaur is still in the pool. Earthshaker has been banned out. Sand King is still in the pool. He hasn't been playing that as much recently, but it is Arsenal.
Looks a little tough. He could get zoned fairly easily.
I suppose Darkseer also an option.
Darkseer with Bloodseeker is really good.
Yep.
For lowering everybody's HP early on the game.
And great with the Naga.
But it's a Lina, so it's not very good for contesting. If it was a melee carry, yeah, sure. But as it is there, I don't think it's amazing.
So what's the go-to pick, Purge? 5 seconds.
Oh man, wow, they actually don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. Okay, well that's
so
not what I was expecting.
This makes things very weird. Is this an offlane Bloodseeker now?
Or is it like
they won't jungle. There's no way they'll jungle the Bloodseeker because then it would allow VP to very easily aggressive tri-lane and punish their safe lane and jungle.
Could it be an aggro try with like a safe lane Quap, Dragon Knight mid?
That's a much better guess, I think.
That's the only thing that I can really reason out
that
of
would
this.
put BS mid. No.
Or no.
Oh, aggro Quap probably.
Or yeah, okay, BS safe aggro with the Quap. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be better because you don't want to aggro with a BS. That's not very synergistic.
Yeah, Yoku did play the Queen of Pain last game, so maybe that's the play.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's
and they aggro tried last game as well. So
Bloodseeker versus Tusk is okay for Bloodseeker, I think. Tusk could potentially kill him if he gets a bit of an advantage. Maybe a roam is something they're susceptible to, but Dragon Knight versus Lina is also scary. Yeah, these are weird lanes, but they have good heroes. That's another stun. Dragon Knight's just good for your lineup, honestly.
There was also a Clockwork that was in the pool that they could have taken if they wanted a traditional offlaner. I kind of forgot about.
But apparently they want to pressure, and CM's a little bit weak for a tri-lane hero. Her cast range feels weak. Maybe that's just because her movement speed is slow and her damage is low, but if she gets out of position, she just kind of dies, I think. Like, what does CM do versus Naga Siren? Like, Naga is actually just going to run at her and riptide her and already be... Like, Naga is like 40 movement speed faster than Crystal Maiden right off the bat before boots happen. So...
Right, so a lot of variations here, Purge. We'll see G take the Lina, which means probably headed towards the mid lane. Illidan picks up the Chaos Knight. Now, we saw this in our series prior against C-Deck. Same deal, where it was a Chaos Knight without a Wisp, and it was pretty potent. I think we were both pleasantly surprised with how well he did without the backing of the Energy Ball.
He had the regen from a lot of Arcane Boots, and we'll probably see the same thing this game with a Arcane Boots on Winter Wyvern, possibly. Now, it won't be on DK Phobos, but they do actually they will have a Crystal Maiden, so they'll have the Arcane Aura there. Have fun.
Oh, Lil always telling people to have fun. In the first series, he said have fun in one of them, the double fun.
He did.
Good manners here. It looks like, indeed, Empire will go for this aggro tri-lane. Resolution takes the Dragon Knight to the mid, and Yoku will be the one to grab the Bloodseeker. So even more changes here. Yoku played Quap last time. This go-around, it will be silent.
And all of VP is currently posturing towards the top lane. They know that there's likely an aggressive tri-lane. Their hero position is based on this. Even Lil is kind of tucked away into a bit of a cubby. He can always fly over the trees if he needs to, and worried about dying. Observer is placed to not block any camps. This might block the large camp, though, the side pull camp. And if so, that's a mistake from Empire. But
I don't think it. If it does, it's right on that. It's right on that line there. Yeah.
The northmost point might not get to there. So that might be the distinction. I think the Eastern limit is there at least, but
yeah,
maybe not the North one.
I know it, yeah, it extends pretty far over. We'll see in a short amount of time here. Other wards, Radiant get some intel to the entryway into their jungle, and Dire will actually not go for any rune control wards, just one in the mid, and then one here for the bottom to help out their offlaner.
So I guess VP's dodging. Like, all right, we're pretty darn sure you guys are top. We're going to go block all your camps, and then we're going to aggressively tri-lane you.
Okay.
So that's, at the very start, looking good for VP. They'll get a CS lead advantage over them. Quap is going into the offlane. They actually left the Quap there, and instead, they're going to keep, it is going to be a Bloodseeker tri-lane as a result. So
we'll see if / when they rotate this, though. Silent, definitely not their go-to offlane player in a solo role like this. So I would imagine that after a few creeps, we'll just see some TPs come out and they'll do the switcheroo. But time will tell. We'll see a little skirmish break out, potentially a first blood. Dire have a small vision advantage here with that coconut bouncing around. Oh, big damage here onto Yoku. And they don't quite have the follow-up. He will live. FNG, though, on the other side of it, not going to live. That's always want to fly that draws the first blood on the Witch Doctor, and Empire will find some success in that first skirmish.
Illidan got a little unlucky with his Chaos Bolt. It was 1 second, and it did 110 damage, which I guess was after, all right, I guess after reduction it was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most unlucky thing ever.
It did a lot of damage. There just wasn't enough follow-up to get the kill, unfortunately.
And they even Arctic burned all 3 heroes there, so Lil did his best there, but there's only so much you can do with the Crystal Maiden. That's the lackings of the hero. 39 average damage, 280 movement speed. Obviously, Frostbite's a great level 1 skill at 150 damage, but you know, that's all she can do.
Yeah. So far, this tri-lane will stay committed for Empire. Yoku not rotating up. He could have bought a TP, and they're just going to go with this for now. So what does this mean for Silent? Up against a Tusk, Quap should be just fine here, and completely dominating, actually. Tusk 0-1 compared to the 6-3 of Silent.
That's not good. That is not good for Tusk.
No, certainly not. And our mid matchup here, Lina versus Dragon Knight. You mentioned this in the draft. Tough matchup for the Dragon Knight, but so far so good for Resolution, actually farming decently well. But now down bottom, Yoku stunned again by Illidan. The Coconut won't take any bounces. Decent heal from that Voodoo Restoration. Reality Rift back. One more auto attack will get him.
Sit on.
They bring down the Bloodseeker.
He's got a juke. Oh, great Chilling Embrace. Cold Embrace, whatever the heck it's called. Will they kill? Always want to fly. They're chasing, looking for the body blocks. They have no cooldowns left. FNG does grab the correct Aloha Dance, but he will die to illusions immediately afterwards.
The Voodoo Restoration doing so much, though, Purge. He's still alive. Somehow, some way. Always want to fly will live to tell the tale. And that's it. It'll be a 1-for-1. They get the Crystal Maiden in the end.
All right.
Less than ideal for Empire, but
yeah,
still a 1-for-1.
Bloodseeker being the focus again, and somehow actually being the one to die with Poor Man's Shield. He's blocking a huge percentage of damage coming from the Winter Wyvern and the CM, both of which have very, very low base damage. So a little surprising to see that happening like that, but the clarities are flowing, and there is a level 2 on a CM now, so the mana will be very, very full for now.
Yeah, makes things a lot easier for sure. And looking at farm out of this lane, Chaos Knight 8-1 compared to the 10-3 of the Bloodseeker, so both of them on fairly equal footing. Forced to focus more on heroes than farming.
Lina's getting a big advantage in the mid lane now. Her nuke is way more spammable than the Breathe Fire is. Breathe Fire is about half of his mana pool, whereas every single Dragon Slave is more like a 4th or a 5th. So at this point, G gets a big advantage. Those first couple waves, Resolution can be at least a little competitive, but it's getting harder and harder. And as this lane goes on, he even has to worry about dying. So gets a little scary. Hopefully for him, there's a support rotation sometime soon, but I think they're going to be really busy due to this aggressive try. Yeah,
like you said, at this point, if he can just avoid death, that should be good news. We'll see again, Yoku initiated on just a casual Frostbite. Cask bouncing around as Illidan goes back in, wants to re-initiate here on the Always Want to Fly. Will do so. Cold Embrace keeps him alive. Always Want to Fly getting very low. They actually have the damage to bring him down. Cheeky plays here from Virtus.Pro, and this go around, it will yield a kill.
Man, I was like, Illidan is so dead, but man, that Cold Embrace came in and absolutely kept him alive, and at the end of it, he was pretty darn healed.
He knew their limits pretty well. Up top, Silent. He had picked up a bottle here, so he does secure a bounty rune for himself. Level 5, soon to be 6, and still farming very well over this Tusk.
So that's looking pretty good for Empire, but they are losing their tri-lane, probably at least partially because Bloodseeker is a bit of a weird and, in a way, bad tri-lane carry. So It's looking good for VP. The reason that they're winning these fights, though, if you guys are curious, is not just because of the Bloodseeker, but it's also because of Cold Embrace. I mean, it makes your hero immune to right clicks, and in a tri-lane situation, you normally have 3 heroes right-clicking. So if you can stop those right clicks for 4 seconds on the hero that they need to go on, it's usually a huge amount of damage, something like 200 or so. So it's in a lot of ways just a really big heal.
Yeah. Although, you say Empire's losing this tri-lane, it's actually not too bad. Lil, he's like playing in the river there. Okay, he comes back up now, always want to fly. He gets stunned up. It's a 2-second stun. They'll be able to bring him down. Yeah, 4v3. No hope for survival there with the Witch Doctor.
Huh.
Was that worth it for G to rotate down for just a kill on the Witch Doctor?
I mean, it's not that bad, honestly.
Yeah, I guess he can get back pretty quick. He's got boots.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to allow Resolution to do some slight damage to the tower, but that was probably going to happen anyways, and it helped their tri-lane a lot. The important thing is that, you know, this is the pub mentality. We need to win our lane, gank please. And G did that, and it worked out, and maybe he didn't get the kill, but it's helping his tri-lane a lot, and it's helping them get more kills. So just by giving, might have a kill on a low-head dance here.
Yeah, I'll try to chase him down, and nope, they retreat as he gets to the tower.
Just by helping them get their own kills, it's basically like you're accelerating their farm with just one little sacrifice for yourself. You're basically sacrificing a TP and 4 or 5 kills, or creep kills.
Yeah, the Bloodseeker moving into some neutrals now, but the Chaos Knight still isn't really pulling that far ahead in terms of farm. So VP are definitely winning this tri-lane, but it's not a complete stomp. Empire still holding their own. Oh, Reality Rift. Pump fake there. Illidan just playing with Yoku.
It was a TP mid from Quap mid.
Yep. Oh, Resolution now taking a lot of damage. Silent actually caught by the snowball. Gets off the Sonic Wave onto G, but it's just not enough. A 2-for-0 as Lina secures a double. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane. Okay, thought a skirmish was going to break out.
Yeah, I mean, Lil might be in trouble, but blocking
burns
with
down. There's the Coconut. Goes right into the level 2 ensnare. Reality Rift on to Always Want to Fly, but he'll be just fine. Cold Embrace onto Lil. Can they chase him down? No, Yoku not doing, opting to dive the tower. All of a sudden, G is in great shape. He's got power treads, heads right back to this mid lane. Very unfortunate for the Queen of Pain and the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, it was a bit of a poor rotation from Silent. When the Tusk initially came mid and tried to land the Ice Shards on the Dragon Knight, he missed. And Silent basically committed to his teleport, and because of that, he ended up being mid for about 30 seconds longer than he needed to, and there was nobody top. He could have just stayed top for a bit longer. So he rotated a bit too early, and then eventually came for the kill and died, so he's extra far behind from where he was before. And even though Tusk is still far behind in CS, that really limited the small to moderate advantage that Empire had in that top lane.
Yeah. Wow, look at that net worth chart. Lina is one of those heroes that with this kind of a start can really take control of the game. G 2-0-1.
I like the treads pick up too.
Yeah.
Just overall good damage increase, especially because Lina's animation is so bad. It'll help him last hit and all that good stuff.
And now FNG, smoke rotation to the top lane. He's level 5 with 3 points in Arcane Aura, but maybe they can still pick up a kill onto Silent. Tusk is level 6, so he does have a Walrus Punch as well as a Snowball.
He can definitely die. Frostbite, 1 Crystal Nova into the Punch, Snowball, Ice Shards.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Especially if he pulls him in the Snowball, that's an extra 30.
And he just has the Gloves of Haste. It doesn't even have that extra strength from the belt. But will not yield a kill. FNG just lets the smoke expire, and Quap will be fine.
Surprised Quap is playing so safe there. A little surprised about that, but he does know that if any other hero is there, he dies, with the exception of maybe Winter Wyvern.
Oh, double damage onto Winter Wyvern, forced to go into the Cold Embrace as that Coconut is just bouncing back and forth. Lil could be in some trouble here. Doesn't have that reset tool anymore. The LSA is off the mark. A few more auto attacks will bring him down. Yoku eats the Laguna Blade, but he'll survive. Now some regen from Always Want to Fly. LSA on 2. G almost connects with that Dragon Slayer, but now Silent comes down. They need a way to interrupt this. They can't get there. Oh, he pops the ultimate just to get the Dragon Tail, and it's well worth it. A 2-for-0. This time it's Empire coming out on top.
And he can shift mid now and push with that.
They should. All 5 heroes now grouped up. Oh, Silent. He'll bump into Illidan. Just blinks up to the high ground. Illidan says this could be an opportunity to find a kill. He's got some support nearby. Lil's TP'd down. Silent, waiting for that blink to cool down. Gets off the ult, connects on both, but now in a lot of trouble. Reality Rift, just not enough damage there. The rest of the reinforcements come in, and that cast, it's going to lock him in place. Secures the kill on Illidan as well as Lil. Even Tusk coming down. He wants to find a bit of cleanup here. He's already killed the Queen of Pain. Goes in onto Yoku, but they just don't have the damage. Now he's forced back, drops the sigil, and he'll make it back to the tower.
Ooh, VP kind of crumbling a little bit here the last few minutes. Not quite doing their team fights correctly, just not enough damage to kill the Queen of Pain there. And then the tower dies mid as a result of the Lina dying. And that tower was at 80% HP, something like that. And that is the threat that Dragon Knight gives. You get pretty good farm in the mid lane, and it just gets a little bit worse.
Now in the bottom lane, Yoku initiated on 4-second stun from the Chaos Bolt. They'll just click him down, Walrus Punch to finish him off in style. Bobo secures the kill there, 6-7. But this roller coaster of a gold graph is in favor of Empire for now.
Yeah, and it looks so good for G2. 2-0 and 0 or whatever the heck he had. Really big advantage, but now it gets harder.
Yeah, and Dragon Knight, a classic BKB carrier, kind of core on him. He's already making good progress. Ogre Club picked up 1,300 HP. He's getting past that window where Lina can just insta-give him, and now he can kind of stand on his own 2 feet. Doesn't have to play so defensively.
He's also pretty good against the other heroes on VP's team. Very good against Chaos Knight, because Chaos Knight's mostly physical damage. Tusk does a Walrus Punch, which is a big bit of physical burst. And even Winter Wyvern, if he does get ultied by Winter's Curse, he's going to take reduced damage from his team. So I feel like the Dragon Knight really fits this game in a lot of ways. The only downside is the magic damage. But as long as his team backs him up, he's able to pop BKB as the fight starts. He's a really good pick for this game, and he's playing great.
Yeah, so far so good. Even using that ultimate, at first it was just for the stun to secure the kill on G, but then he was able to capitalize on that tier 1 tower and make the most out of that ultimate, finding some efficiency there. Smoke rotation from Empire towards the top lane, and it couldn't come a moment too soon, as VP are all grouped up here looking to put some pressure on Silent. It was a 3v1 and
good
soon to be a 4v3.
She's going to see him as they wrap around, and there's a wraparound. They don't have Song either, so... Oh, he actually lets him get within net range, throws the Frostbite.
Oh, no. FNG. Okay, they'll let him live for now because there's a big TP rotation. Resolution will use the Elder Dragon form. They don't have their Bloodseeker with them right now. Empire need to be a little bit cautious here. Sonic Wave connects on a few. They bring down the Crystal Maiden, but Laguna secures the kill on Quap. Buyback on the Quap, though, to get back into this fight. There's still a tier 1 tower standing. Resolution on the run in Elder Dragon form. Turns for a Breathe Fire, but will fall. This buyback from Quap may not be worth it unless Yoku can do some serious damage. He pops the Rupture, comes in for some cleanup here. Illidan getting low, he'll fall. Now Lil in trouble, he goes down as well. A long range ensnare onto Phobos, that locks him in place as G stands on the backside. Silent comes in with a scream, Song of the Siren to reset. That would have been a kill on Silent. Now he can sip the bottle, great play from Aloha Dance, and now VP in trouble. Purge, Lina's down, FNG's come back to the fight, but to what avail? He'll be forced to turn tail and run as Phobos gets locked in place, hit by the Bloodright. This Tusk will be carved up.
Oh, he's gonna get him, I think.
Oh, this will be close.
He's gonna have the mana. I think he's got him.
He's got him. There we go. Okay, so a little counter kill there. That's a mega kill streak ended by Yoku. The fight's not over yet. Always one of Flies on the run. FNG and Lil trying to bring him down, but they don't have the damage to kill him through the Voodoo Restoration. Winter's Curse, still not enough damage to bring him down through the Voodoo Restoration.
Illidan got stunned. He would have had that otherwise.
Yeah.
All right, so about a 3-minute fight. Pretty normal stuff. Did anyone win there? I'm not sure. It was really back and forth.
11-11. Empire got a lot of experience out of it, that's for sure. Gold gain kind of nullified by the buyback on Silent.
This is the typical VP Empire game, basically. They run at each other and they fight and they fight and they fight. And I don't really see them doing overly aggressive things. It's just like things just keep happening and the fights get delayed and delayed and delayed and they just keep fighting.
So in the end, close to a break even. No towers taken. The only resource used there really was the buyback on the Quap. So Silent closing in on level 11. Almost has that level 2 Scream. Looks like he wants the Orchid first item, but still pretty far away.
G shifting to the offlane, a little weird for him. Picks up the Yule Scepter recipe about 300 gold away from his next item, and instead TPing to the top lane. He did show on an Observer ward from the Radiant team, so looks like they're just waiting for him to set up. But instead he goes top, and now they're seeing him top, so now they also see the Observer ward. This ward did a lot of work just now, and that's going to allow Empire to get some good advantage in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah. And now they'll group up to pressure this tier 1 down bottom, it looks like, or at least utilize the Elder Dragon form. Resolution will pop it right away, and still making good progress towards his BKB. If he can keep sieging these towers at this rate, he'll have it in no time. FNG trying to clear up the creep waves, but the rest of his team is occupied up top, stationed about to pick off Silent, but Silent just says, well, a lot of heroes missing off the map. They've got a ward down here. I'm just going to head back to safety. And this may just yield a free tier 1 tower here for Empire.
Yeah, Empire really needs this tower advantage just because their heroes are a bit more early focused, and I feel like they have more greedy cores with Bloodseeker, Quap, and Dragon Knight. If they do get those core BKBs up, though, I feel like they can just run right over VP.
Yeah. VP trying to exchange towers here, but FNG gets ruptured. They'll TP in, Blood Right's there. Lil will get silenced, but still manages to get off a Winner's Curse onto Yoku. Very minimal damage to follow up. Now Snowball, Walrus Punch, just not enough. Crystal Maiden falls off to the backside. Yoku taking a lot of damage, but this Death Ward, it's channeling it. Oh boy, is it. Lil will go into the Cold Embrace, but it's just not enough. They finish off the Bloodseeker, a 1 for 2. Now the reset from Aloha Dance. Resolution, he's trying to line up the perfect Breathe Fire here.
Quap ulti as well, here it comes, grabs 2. Cask bouncing as well, landing on that port. Here's G's in trouble, he gets bursted down. It's actually going really well for Empire, and Illidan is on the retreat, about half HP for him. Last pick off, can they grab DK Phobos?
Oh, it's looking like it, but Crystal Maiden will TP to the tier 2. Decent ice shard, so there's still a path to get by. Maybe they can turn on to Always Want to Fly. He's got the Voodoo Restoration on, but Breathe Fire limiting the damage that that Illidan can do. They will indeed finish him off, and at the end, that's a 3 for 3. Another one of these close team fights. Both teams taking out a tier 1 tower as well. Very even trade.
Man, these fights, they just don't stop being crazy.
Yeah.
Armlet up on Chaos Knight now, so some big plus damage coming for him. Bloodseeker actually going for a bit of a weird build. Maybe not a weird build, but at least in the pro scene, we haven't seen the Blade Mail picked up yet, but he goes for the Blade Mail. I feel like that's really poor against Chaos Knight. It's pretty good against Tusk, I guess, if you can cast. Yeah, you can always cast that before the Snowball hits you. And decent against CM as well. Yeah,
it's okay. Doesn't seem like an obvious pickup here. The one great thing about Blade Mail is it gives you a nice rounded amount of stats in terms of why am I not articulating this properly, Purge? Cost-effective stats. That's what it gives you, on top of the active. So maybe just a sign that Empire wants to continue with this high-octane kind of play, and Blade Mail certainly fits well with that. Now we'll see Tusk get initiated on here by Silent. Hops into the Snowball, goes to the Illusions, and he'll be just fine.
I like the Max Frozen Sigil that a lot of Tusks have been going for second. The Snowball, as long as you get enough stun duration to follow it up with a punch, you're in a good place. But the Frozen Sigil attack speed reduction is just so good. It's like having a Shiva's up at all times. So,
yeah.
Aloha Dance might die. He doesn't have Song, actually. Very, very easy killer for Illidan.
Yeah,
not quite sure why he was there, but...
Yeah, the other thing about the Sigil, not only does it scale well, but the mana cost stays the same. So it's not really a value point at that first level. I guess none of Tusk's abilities change except for Walrus Punch, but yeah, Sigil, what an incredible spell.
It really is.
It's insane.
That's really good. BKB's up on Dragon Knight. He's got the Wand BKB. So tons and tons of armor. He's going to have magic immunity now. And now it becomes a lot harder for VP to deal with this. If he gets in a good position and he feels like the chase is on, Breathe Fire the enemy team, Bloodseeker will run fast. He pops BKB, and he wants to kill probably Lina first, but he is totally going to settle for Crystal Maiden if he can take her as well.
Yeah, Silent putting some pressure on this tier 1 tower up top. Does force out the Glyph, and so far no TP reactions from VP. With this tower kill, Silent will be at Orchid money, so that's another big item pickup here for Empire as they continue to get more momentum. Yeah, there you go. Especially given that he was an off-lane Queen of Pain as well.
Well,
sort of.
It was a 1v1.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was a 1v1. Never mind. Strike it from the record.
Yeah. So Orchid is up. That'll be very, very good to catch. Probably Lina's got Yule, so she's a little fine, but most importantly, probably either Tusk or Winter Wyvern. Smoke comes from VP. I feel like they smoke a lot. Maybe that's one reason they're fighting a lot, because they smoke a lot, but...
Both teams are smoked up right now.
Yes.
Smoke's aplenty.
Sentry down to spot for the Observer Ward that may have noticed their initiation. Instead, they're waiting for their opponents. Did they realize they smoked? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I don't think either side has realized it.
I like Illidan's position here. He is not going to break the smoke because it's gone.
All right, smoke's starting to expire. Who's going to initiate on who here? Resolution charging in. Aloha Dance, Song of the Siren. Okay, good setup here. Silent should be able to get a huge ulti. Blood Right as well. Oh, this is going to be disastrous for VP. Even the Coconut bouncing around. Sonic Wave connects on at least 2. Always Want to Fly will take some big damage, but Tusk and Lina have already gone down. Lil just can't do anything. Completely isolated. He'll fall as Illidan tries to TP home. He will make it, but just barely. A 1 for 3, and Empire only concede their support Witch Doctor.
It seemed like such an easy fight for Empire there. That Song setup just did major work that time. I mean, they don't really have anything that can stop it. And they have Blood Right to combo with it, so not only do they have the sleep, but they can guarantee a silence on the entire enemy team. 5-second silence. What can VP do to stop that?
stay spread out so they don't all get silenced. That's about it. I mean,
AoE's so big, though.
Yeah, there's no easy solution here. Oh, he's Aloha Dance. He'll go down FNG with a nice freezing field on the backside. They will repel. Resolution gets clipped by an Arctic Burn. That'll slow him down a little bit. Can they actually close the gap here? There we go. Reality Rift connects, and they will get a counter kill. Resolution without a BKB.
Okay.
Limited options.
I'm so surprised they got that. At first I thought Illidan was dead, but really it just appeared to be a bait. And it's a great hero for chasing, huge movement speed, and every time you get within Reality Rift, you're pulling somebody 700 range back. Well, it's actually about half of that, but still really, really good chasing skill, and they're able to score the kill on the very important DK, and that's going to allow them to get a Roche. And they even have Solar Crest, so Roche is going to die extremely fast here.
Yeah, I wanted to mention a couple of different item pickups here, and the Solar Crest on Tusk is definitely one. Also, Drum of Endurance on that Chaos Knight. We talked about it in the last game, and he went for it after the Armlet, which is slightly different, but still helping out with that limited CK mana pool.
The movement speed will be good for his team as well. They're a bit outclassed in terms of like Quap and Bloodseeker, so some of those slower heroes like Winter Wyvern, you never know, it might make a difference.
And instead of going for the Aghanims next, Quap will just go for a BKB of her own, kind of like you were mentioning. Once they get all that magic immunity, VP can't deal with them nearly as easily. They do get Roche, though, and Illidan Storm Rage now has himself an Aegis of the Immortal.
So another problem with having Armlet here on Chaos Knight is his HP is probably going to be low. Like, Armlet tall gain's cool and all, but it guarantees that Bloodseeker runs really fast. That might come back to bite them a little bit later, but it's still such a good damage item. You get about 60 damage for 2,400 gold. You just can't pass it up if you're playing Chaos Knight.
Yep. Now they'll pressure this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Empire split around the map. They'll pressure the tier 2 in the top lane. They've got a few heroes here stationed up in the mid. See if they can mount a defense at this tier 1, or if they even choose to. There is a glyph for the Radiant, perhaps waiting for VP to commit something. Dire have a glyph, but they won't burn it. Instead, there will be a rotation back to mount the defense. There's the glyph for the Radiant, and Snare on the Illidan.
No, not
Cast from the high ground. No bounces. Cold Embrace. That'll keep him safe.
There's the Rupture. Ulti's well in Resolution. Can they kill him right now? If they do, it's going to be so big. All of the snowball comes in. He's dead. No BKB for him. Illidan will end up falling, but that's just the Aegis. Great fight for VP there, countering out the Naga Sleep. That just now comes out, just trying to stop them from chasing, but that's not the best retreat and use for that. That's a 3-minute cooldown now, and this is the time for VP to pressure on.
It's huge for VP. They throw away the Aegis, but they get the kill on the tower. It's not denied. They get the Dragon Knight, and like you said, Song of the Siren on cooldown, even the Death Ward on cooldown. Everything is on cooldown here, so they can start to take some fights if they want to, but no, they'll just back up. I thought they might pressure that tier 2 a bit more, but they will play it safe. All right.
Well, they're in a good spot. I really thought this game was looking one-sided with that last fight, but once again, VP Empire continues to be an amazing match.
Yep. As soon as one team starts to pull ahead, they either overcommit or the other team just makes these kind of clutch plays out of nowhere.
Yeah, the chain stun into the chain stun into the dead Dragon Knight before he uses BKB, and then they lose the fight. Reaver picked up on Chaos Knight.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous item to have, because bam, 500 more HP for Chaos Knight, 500 more HP for his illusions, and both him and his illusions get 25 damage. A huge increase here.
And Tusk closing in on presumably a Blink Dagger coming up next. 1,600 gold to go with his Solar Crest as VP continue to take outer towers. Tier 1 in the bottom lane will be glyphed up, and again, Silent at his same old tricks, trying to split push in the top lane for this tier 2. They'll be able to do a little bit of damage, but VP can come back and mount the defense if they so choose. Glyph has been used, but no defense.
A little surprised about that, because they do. I feel like they are ahead at this point. Maybe they're just scared to split up. Maybe they're worried about like Naga sleeping them as they try to escape. Well, actually, Naga was
on cooldown for another 80 seconds.
Yeah, good point. I don't know. I feel like if you're ahead, you don't trade a tier 2 for a tier 1. But maybe that's a mistake in this position when they had all of their heroes together on the other side of the map.
Always want to fly the lone defender down here with the cask bouncing around. But VP, yeah, not going to dive this.
Yeah, I guess they give up. So they traded a tier 1 for a tier 2. Not the best trade, but they also pressure their opponents a bit.
Well, 3 BKBs now purged. Bloodseeker will get his, as will the Queen of Pain, just about at the exact same time.
Okay. Chaos Knight still does really good physical damage, so they've got that going for them. But Bloodseeker is definitely going to be a threat now. They do still have the safety net of Cold Embrace, 4 seconds of physical immunity, and he's also building towards a Glimmer Cape, which will help against some of the other heroes. And they have lots of stuns. You know, they could do Chaos Knight stun into Tusk, or Winter's Curse into Tusk, or into Chaos Knight. if they can chain stun these guys, their Black King bars aren't going to mean anything. So it's going to come down to the Naga setup, because if the Naga setup comes, their BKBs better not be late.
Well, it's interesting you bring up setup, because Blink Dagger, the next item on Dragon Knight after his BKB, and that's a great way to start off a fight. You can blink in, Dragon Tail, and get that kind of initiation you're looking for.
It's such a good stun. 3.25 second stun on a 10-second cooldown, or a 9-second cooldown.
Yeah.
So amazing. And with the blink here, he doesn't even necessarily need to use his ult to get a gank off now.
Exactly.
That's the cool part.
So it gives him a lot of mobility, of course. FNG still playing this very sacrificial 5. You're mentioning in the draft, maybe CM getting a bit more farm could be advantageous for VP, but FNG sticking to his guns. He's the poorest in the game, and just buying consumables now that he's got himself Tranquil Boots and a Magic Wand.
So everybody's pretty full. They're meandering towards the tier 2 tower mid. And VP's in pretty good position as well. I like the blink on DK Phobos. Obviously, you build it every Tusk game, but he can sit really far back, and that way the song doesn't catch him. And that's basically the position of VP right now. They're watching for the Naga, and they're trying to see where he is, and they're trying not to get caught out.
This is dire vision we're looking at here. They've got intel on pretty much every one of Empire. This ward that FNG just put down coming in handy. And if reading what Empire might want to do in the next few minutes, very heads-up play. Look at the Radiant Vision, however, and they've got nothing. They know VP is defending this tower, but they don't know who or where exactly. Here we go. Resolution jumps right in onto Lil. Illidan jumps onto a dance. He does get the song off. There we go. The reset that they absolutely needed to have a chance in this fight. However, Resolution did use his BKB. We'll see if Empire can still do it. They want to continue fighting. Death Ward is channeled. Out comes the snowball onto Always Want to Fly. Naga, the first casualty of this fight. Seems like VP might be able to do it here. Resolution taking a lot of damage as Silent goes in deep. He'll finish off Lena, but now Illidan, he's left all alone. All of a sudden, he gets blown up. It's a 1-for-2 with Empire now getting the edge. FNG gets ruptured. Will try to TP home. Yoku just turns focus onto Lil. Cold Embrace buys him a little bit of time, but to no avail. He will fall 1-for-3 now as Phobos does escape.
Looked like such a good fight for VP there. Yeah. They split things up a bit. The BKB was wasted for the Dragon Knight, but when everything cleared up and they ended up trying to go after the DK, he tanked too much damage. In the back line of the supports on Empire, the Death Ward, it kept all of VP back, and they weren't able to cover each other and help make the Chaos Knight stay alive. So it ended up looking good because of the split, but the split ultimately hurt them when they weren't able to get the kill.
Yeah. 20-20. Empire pulling further into the lead, and back to the gold game they had before that last failed team fight in the mid. So things looking pretty solid for our Radiant side. Item progression-wise, they haven't found too much since that last fight, but Witch Doctor making progress towards the Aghanim Scepter, one of the scarier items on this hero for sure.
Yeah, they have one solution, like we said earlier, with the Cold Embrace, but that's pretty much it. The other heroes are pretty vulnerable, especially the
once
core.
Once you get in Aghanims, it's not so much of a tool to work against it, because you can just bounce off the ice cube.
That's true. It's like a further ward point, basically.
Yeah.
So definitely can still do a bunch of damage.
It will save that one target, though.
It's very good against Lena as well. As a core, she's very weak to physical damage, and it's hard to get the stun off if you're farther away. They're going to find Yoki, pops a BKB, but they counter immediately with the Winter's Curse, and that should be a kill.
Could he still live here? There's no support nearby. Ice Shards to block him out.
Ice Shards.
They will be successful, but now the team's here. Always Want to Fly.
Oh, he's
my
going
gosh,
in.
Illidan goes to the low ground. His team can't quite get there. Laguna Blade onto Yoku. They do get the kill. Witch Doctor as well. All right, the bold play from Illidan proves successful, but boy, was that aggressive.
Really was. DK Phobos is pressuring forward, but they will all retreat. And a double kill for them. That was really good. And they got the BKB charge off of the Bloodseekers down to 8 seconds now. What did Chaos Knight lose? Nothing. Just did a bunch of aggressive stuff, and it really worked out. He even ate an Orchid, too.
And what's coming out on the courier? That's a heart recipe. So now just a vitality booster away from the full-hearted Tarrasque on this Chaos Knight.
Yeah.
That tends to be that key item at this stage of the game when he goes from manageable to a really scary force that becomes a lot harder to kill.
It's all about the damage increase and his crit levels. And now he's got 4 crit levels, so in the 10% chance that his illusions crit, they do triple damage. So the heart gives you 40 damage, the armlet gives you about 60 or so. Maybe 25 because it only gives you strength damage. Yeah, I guess about 25. But you're getting a lot of damage from your base stats and from the armlet and the heart. And if your illusions crit, if you get a little lucky, you could crit with like 2 of them and end up doing somewhere around 1,000 physical damage in one little reality rift. And that might just be a dead Naga Siren and defeat the purpose of the reset.
Now, Purge, I wouldn't call myself a connoisseur of crit text, but Chaos Knight's mojo gives him the ability to do bonus damage. I've never It's interesting use of that noun there. I like
there's actually very little flavor text in Dota 2 compared to Dota 1.
He's
Dota
just
1
got
had
all
a
that
lot.
mojo. That gives him a chance to do bonus damage.
But those first couple of heroes, I think they tried really hard on the flavor text, and since then they're like, we're too busy. We can't do this.
I like it. It just cracks me up. It's good stuff.
It's actually one of the worst crits in the game because you just multiply the critical damage by the critical chance, and it's basically a 30% increase in damage. Whereas if you look at something like Blade Dance on Juggernaut, it's like 35% for 2 times damage or something, way more.
Yeah. Even the Wraith King crit, I think, is better than CK.
I believe so.
When it's maxed out. The weak part about the Wraith King one is the first point is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, it is. It's like a 25%. You like crit, and it's like 76 damage.
Yeah.
Like, wait, why did I scale this ability? What a waste.
Yeah. Empire did just smoke towards the Roche pit, but I guess they were thinking that VP were in there because they exited immediately. Not looking to Roche themselves, at least not quite yet.
They do have some good vision control, though. Is this their Observer Ward up here? Yeah, it looks like their Observer Ward.
Yep.
Dire Sentry, they may be able to clear this out as they pass through. They'll probably scatter with the Sigil, I would think.
Quite possibly. Sigil already flying through. Also, Aghanims is upgraded onto Lina now, so she can cut right through those BKBs. Still only level 14, so little ways to grow, but always a big item pickup on her.
Yeah, that'll help a lot for sure. And the lower cooldown is just so big. Like, she can actually go for solo kill. She's got Orchid, but I feel like she hasn't been able to use it at all this game. Yeah. Like, we saw it in a couple spots in the fights, but it's never really been like a gank thing. Like, Empire and VP, they're all about team fighting, man. They really don't get picked off that often.
Yeah, Queen of Pain will now start to move into the Aghanim Scepter, just a point booster in the inventory. And oh, look at that, it's completed. The rest of it on the Courier, so Silent. Wow, he's farmed really well. 15K on net worth. I guess that's Silent's specialty, just picking up all that farm. But
plays hard carry, man. He's ready to do it.
I'm just impressed at how well he's been able to out-farm this Chaos Knight despite some pretty even skirmishing.
All right, and the fight's coming soon. Solar Crest on the Chaos Knight, so making a lot of leverage out of his high HP here. Yeah. He may want to cast his illusions before he goes in. It'll buy him an extra second or so. Smoke's about to go away. They will be spotted by the Naga Siren illusions. One's in the back. It's going to find their team.
All right, Resolution just in the front lines. He'll be the one to just slow siege the tower. Empire being very cautious here about their positioning. They just want to make sure Aloha Dance can get off this ultimate, but they see the Sigil. They're pinging it out like crazy. You're not safe there, buddy. Get out of dodge.
Both teams letting the other team know that they know where they are, but not actually doing anything about it.
Yeah, double damage rune was popped by Silent. He was ready to fight there.
Oh, really?
Yep. And the tower just barely out of deny range. Now, VP did use their glyph, so Empire can just hop in and finish off this tower if they want to.
This is tough. I mean, they have Ags on Lina, sorry, which is very, very good against Dragon Knight here, but I feel they need to go or they need to give up, and I think they're going to give up, but they get caught instead. Lil gets caught with the stun, Sounds as well, and he gets blown up. And VP just stayed around way too long.
Yep.
Like, as soon as it gets down to 100 HP, you either have to initiate first, or you have to just let them take it. And instead, they also lose a hero because of it.
And so, now Roche should be pretty easy for Empire. That's kind of the worst time to make an indecisive play like that. This should be a pretty easy Aegis to Empire. A 4v5, VP still charging towards the pit. This is risky, but a play perhaps they have to make here, Purge.
Yeah, they block him in. Actually, this is pretty good. They're segmenting. Illidan goes in. No crits on the first hit. Always on fly, stays alive. And the song comes through.
So what's the play? Does Empire just back out? Yeah, they just TP home. They don't want to fight, even though it's 4v5. It's a little bit surprising.
Comes through. Almost catching Resolution, but he's long gone.
So are Empire just going to hand this to VP on a silver platter?
I don't understand why they're doing this. I guess they fear VP is stronger or something. I mean, if Dragon Knight went in... Oh, he didn't have this BKB. That's why.
Okay. Oh, but now Silent comes in. Always want to fly. Channels the ultimate, but not for very long. Sonic Wave brings down the Tusk. Now it's a one-on-one. FNG says, I'm just trying to get the hell out of there, and he does. He TP's home, but all the while, Illidan focuses on Roche and secures himself yet another Aegis.
Yeah, when they killed the Winter Wyvern before, the Dragon Knight blinked forward and BKB'd. So because he didn't have BKB, he didn't feel comfortable fighting.
Here we go. Dagger, initiation again. That Dragon Tail, he gets hit by the Blood Right. We'll have the Yules to purge it off, but is it enough? Laguna Blade onto Resolution. The follow-up damage just isn't there. Winter's Curse and Cold Embrace have been dropped. Not enough to save the Lina, nor the Winter Wyvern. Now Virtus.Pro in a little bit of trouble here, Purges. Yoku just goes charging right up to the high ground. A lot of damage, but Silent follows up. Yoku needs to be a little bit careful here. He can actually fall. Pops the Blade Mail. He goes down. And now Empire will retreat.
Illidan's chasing. He's got the Aegis, and his heart is kicking in now. Getting a whole 100 HP per second as he follows.
There was a
spot Aloha, though.
Buyback on the Lina also in that fight.
He saw him, but he's got a Glimmer Cape that's almost impossible to kill.
Yeah, I think Aloha Dance is good. Okay. So, a hold from VP. Very aggressive play from Yoku. Definitely not expecting a Lina buyback there. Yoku wasn't, I mean.
Yeah. AC coming on the Dragon Knight. Not going to really help him much versus the Lina ult, but will definitely help versus the Dragon. Oh, Chaos Knight's actually going to find him.
Yep. Oh, Dan's trying to TP home. Oh, but the Orchid, there you go. Oh, okay.
And the Glimmer.
And the Glimmer.
He wasn't going to get him
twofold.
Either way, but they're like, let's really make sure that he doesn't catch you.
Just in case. So now Naga picks up the gem, and map, or at least vision control will go.
Whoa! FNG has more than Tranquil Boots and a Wand. What is going on?
All right, that's a 4 staff completed.
That's great, man. Good for you. You just need those items sometimes, honestly, because
yeah,
it limits your hero too much if all you have is Boots and a Wand. Like, amazing positioning can only do so much. And at some point, him as a player might need to make a play, and an item will let you do that as a support. So,
full Assault Cross, though, like you mentioned. Good stuff for the Dragon Knight. Makes sieging a lot easier, so they can push a little more effectively. Tusk working on a Lotus Orb here. Perseverance on the way after that plate mail.
That's the popular item, man, but I think it's very good against hexes, but everything else, it's just okay. I don't know.
So this game, what does it actually do here?
Rupture is probably what they're aiming for. Dragon Tail stun if
yeah,
Dragon Knight's down.
Yeah.
Orchid would be really good, actually. You could remove Orchid with it. That's probably why he's picking it up.
Yep.
The silence removal is probably the best thing, and the potential to reflect Rupture. So that's probably why he's building. It's very common on strength heroes that are initiator kind of heroes. Tusk fits into this. Axe sometimes builds it. Maybe a Centaur. Things like that. Kind of fits those hero types.
Yeah, definitely. All right, 36 minutes in, 24-24. We've got yet another even game on our hands, at least on that scoreboard, but Empire have been consistently holding on to a net worth lead. This graph looking much different than it did in game number 1, where it was a lot more of a roller coaster. They've also got that 7,500 experience edge.
Oh, grabs one.
Limited time on the Aegis. They want to fight with it. Silent able to blink away from the Reality Rift, and that'll kind of reset this fight just a little bit here, but VP still hungry for blood.
They will save the ward. Mirror image wasted here by Naga Siren, and they are looking to chase.
Empire just trying to get into a better position to take a fight. Looks like they'll... Oh, thought they might wrap around and defend their tower. They're going to come around the backside.
They really want to kill that ward. Oh, here it comes. Gank the ward. Yes. They may still fight, though. That vision advantage is really important because now VP doesn't know where Empire is moving. They're trying to use the sigil to scout things out, but Empire says this is a little dangerous. They know we are over here. We're just going to walk around. They already got the tier 2 tower, so pretty good for VP here. And they're ready to go high ground. Armlet, Heart, and an Ultimate Orb with that Drum of Endurance means Chaos Knight's big. Oh, he got an extra spawn.
Oh, how lucky here. Glyph comes out straight away. He's got about a minute left on the Aegis. Quap uses the ult to try and soften up the illusions, but they're all still
BKB.
so tanky.
Oh, they're almost dead.
Yep, Dragon Knight BKBs now, and the Blood Right helps finish him off as well. Illidan gets low, but will be Glimmer Caped, and they'll actually rupture that. Pretty much what the Chaos Knight wanted. Yeah, that'll utilize the Aegis, but now can they kill him again? That's the big question. He's got a lot of support nearby. Phobos goes blinking on Walrus Punch, and
4 seconds stun on the Naga. Will she go down? She does die.
Oh my. Laguna goes out onto the Queen of Pain as well. Now Illidan taking a lot of damage. The Cold Embrace will keep him alive, but this Death Wolf doing a good amount of work. Illidan on the run, but do they actually have the damage here? It's Empire starting to run low on resources. Turns, throws a 3-second stun out onto Yoku.
Oh, the snowball saved him. Can he armlet toggle?
Oh, he's still alive, but just barely. No, he finally dies to the Witch Doctor, but it'll cost the Witch Doctor his life as well. Now G falls as he tries to retreat. Silent looking to bring down Lil. Glimmer Cape buys him some time. It's Ring Around the Rosy. Can Lil find a safe spot? He can, but Phobos can't. He's got a TP. He won't be able to make it out. Silent. Godlike streak for Silent as all 5 are dead on the side of Virtus.Pro.
Man, the game is so tough for VP here. I feel like Silent's playing amazing, but it's so hard to lock her down. Like, G's impact has not been felt as a mid hero. He just hasn't been able to consistently get kills, and that's because there's so many Black King bars in this game. He can ulti one guy, but only takes away half their HP, and if they don't start the fight off with the Walrus Punch, they're not going to win this game. And consistently, the fights are starting in with Chaos Knight going in first, and it has to be a chain stun. But if it's not on the Naga, it's not going to work, and that's the hard part about about this game. VP's just not getting the initiations against the one hero they need to.
A noble effort, FNG, but he'll end up falling here to Silent, continuing that beyond godlike streak, adding a 6th kill to the mix. Now VP forced to glyph to try and buy some time for this tier 3 tower that Silent's laying into. They'll be able to secure this. Barracks may stay standing at least for a little while. TP straight away as Chaos Knight and Winter Wyvern respawn. They will repel, but this game's starting to look a little bit shaky for Virtus.Pro Purge.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a lot worse. I mean, they used the Phantasm, the Chaos Knight ult, but they just got cleared out. They did barely any damage to the high ground. I think he needed to wait to save that until after he died, perhaps. Like, once that is gone, Chaos Knight's damage is far, far less. But like I said before, it's just so hard to start fights. They have to kill the Naga Siren first, or there's no way they're going to win the fights. Or they need to maybe silence her first. But if they don't find her, she's just going to Song of the Siren in their initiation, and things are going to get turned around completely. So really hard initiation. I was happy for them because they didn't have to play against a Dazzle, but it's still just so hard.
Interesting item pickup here from Silent. He'll go for a Refresher Orb on the Queen of Pain. Actually has it completed so good with this kit. That'll be a double BKB, 2 Orchids. Of course, all of those spells will be refreshed. This is a really smart pickup.
He can basically do equivalent damage as Lina can in an AoE through BKB. That's really amazing damage. A lot of Queen of Pains have been going something like Ags into Octarine, but I like this build way more, the Refresher build, because you just slam it out, bam, bam, double ult. It costs almost all your mana pools, one of the downsides, because Sonic Wave is 500 and the Refresher's 375, and she's only got a 1700 mana pool, but she has 2 mana regen items, so she can definitely compensate for that a bit, and it should be fine as a whole.
Yep, and still hanging on to that bottle. Now Dragon Knight moving into some more damage-based items. Picks up the Maelstrom is his next, and the Bloodseeker also getting, was that, what did I see just picked? Oh, the full Scotty completed now. Yep. So Bloodseeker, very tanky.
Increases HP, that way you have a better chance of being able to heal afterwards. So it's a very good build. It helps you chase down your opponents and work them down. I feel like this game Bloodseeker is a good pick because the carry for VP is a Chaos Knight, and Chaos Knight can kill Bloodseeker, but with all this other stuff going on with Witch Doctor casks and Naga Sleep and Dragon Knight stuns, it's just so hard for the Chaos Knight to do what he wants to do, and Bloodseeker can then run around and do exactly what he wants to do. Yep. So it's tough.
Yeah, they also just have the great setup. We've talked about it a few times with the Song of the Siren. To set up Death Ward, Blood Knight, Sonic Wave. There's just a lot of synergy across this Empire draft in general. Good lanes, great mid-game fighting, and now towards the late game, they've got carry power and sieging power. So good stuff all around.
Dragon Knight might go in on mid, 3k HP on the Chaos Knight. He'll follow him for a bit. He's got Invis for another 10 seconds or so, and everyone on the Radiant team's converging. Look at that map. There's a stun. Couple hits. Reduces the damage as well. There will be a stun soon. He's got to blink, dodge it. Instead, he ultis to get the slow on Illidan. There's the silence, the ultimate as well. Cold Embrace, keeping his HP up, and Silent wants to kill on Winter Wyvern. He refreshes.
Interesting. Here he goes in onto G on the other side of it. 2 fight breaking as FNG pops his ulti, but it's just not enough. Lina dies. FNG tries to force staff TP away. Yoku gets juked for a second, but finds him. Now Illidan left behind, doesn't get into the snowball. He dies. Tusk, the last one alive. VP on their last leg here. They've got no buybacks available, and DK Phobos is the only one standing. 4 still alive for Empire. They ping the high ground. They go in. Phobos get chopped up and cut to pieces. GG's called, and Empire secures a 2-game victory over Virtus.Pro.
It was so close both games, but every single game they edged out their advantage over their opponents. And surprising to see VP, a team that just took a 2-0, immediately get 0-2'd afterwards. But honestly, what a close game. It just did not work out for them. Their draft, I think, was pretty good, but they couldn't deal with the Naga Siren, and it forced them to play their fights so weird.
I wouldn't say it's a bad draft.